1 second after they said the same name in the same voice, nothing in that kitchen moved. The kettle ticked as it cooled. 4 cups sat where an old man had set them out without counting. And then the light in the room went wrong, the way light goes wrong just before weather, and both of them felt it at once. It started in the hands. Kael looked down at the table because his fingers had done something he had not asked them to do, and across from him, the old man was looking at his own hands with the same confusion. The same small gesture made twice by 2 people who had never met until yesterday. Then Kael reached for a word, and the word was not there. Not slow, not on the tip of his tongue. Gone, the way a stair is gone when the step is missing. He stopped in the middle of a sentence and stood there inside the gap where an ordinary word used to live. And Tam aged while they watched him. Not all at once, nothing dramatic. A month at a time, in the skin at his temples, in the extra second it took him to lift his head, in how carefully he had to plan standing up. 91 years began spending itself faster than it should. Kael tasted bread, warm and cheap and slightly burnt at the base, out of an oven he had never stood in front of, in a bakery he had never entered. On a morning that belonged to somebody else. It was the best thing that had ever happened to him. It was also being taken out of a living man. Across the table the old man went rigid and said that the water was cold. He was sitting in a warm kitchen with his hands round a mug, and he was drowning in a tank 91 years away, in the dark, under an amber light, listening to a pump he had never seen. Goku got between them. He took hold of Kael by the shoulders and pulled, and Kael came away from that table as easily as anybody comes away from a table, and nothing stopped. No resistance, no snap. Distance was not a lever because there was nothing in the room to pull against. That is when 16 said the sentence that took the last door away. It does not need them to agree. It does not need them to touch. It does not even need them in the same building. Proximity was never the mechanism. Proximity only told the record where the 2 of them were standing. Kael turned on him. Whatever was left of his voice went into one question. 16 had walked out of his own reconciliation. 16 had called himself the one still standing for 40 years. So Kael wanted to know exactly how a man does that, and he wanted to know now. And 16 sat down. In 26 parts, nobody had ever seen him sit down. He said that he did not win. He said her designation was 16 as well, that she worked it out 3 days before he did, and that she stopped on purpose, and he felt every year of her arrive in him like a debt he had not agreed to carry. He kept the suit because a hazard suit is honest about what is inside it. Sealed, numbered, handled at arm's length. He has been the surviving half of somebody who chose to stop for 4 decades, and not 1 hour of it has made him whole. It made him hollow. That is all it does. On the table between them, the record showed what it always showed. 1 entry, 2 halves, and one of those halves had already begun to dim quietly, without asking anybody, the way a lamp goes down when the power is being drawn somewhere else in the house. Then Tam reached across and took Kael by the hand. He was not comforting him. Kael understood that immediately, and it was worse than comfort. The old man was checking, feeling carefully the way a man tests a floorboard, working out how much of the person opposite him was still there. So Kael tried to say his own name. It was the one word he had held on to through all of it. The only thing he had ever been able to prove, and this time he reached for it and came back with nothing at all. Tam did not fill it in for him. Tam had heard it go. 4 miles south, at the ravine, Vegeta sat propped against cold stone where they had left him, unable to stand, unable to travel, and turned his head north because he could feel the direction of it. He knew what was happening in that kitchen. He said one word. He said hollow.